So hello and welcome to today's tutorial. So as part of this project and pretty much every other project we do in technology and in engineering right up to Leave Insert, we're going to need to know how to add motors to our projects. And I've made a video on its own on this because it's such an important topic. So some of you watching this video will be finishing this hovercraft project, and other people will be possibly working on other projects where you need to install a motor. And as I say, this is very important. So we'll get straight to it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new part just to model this. In fact, what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to model it here. I was going to create a new part, but I've kind of thought better of it. I'm just going to create an assembly. And I'm going to insert my Part Studio 1. Okay. So we had discussed now a quick note here. When I'm bringing in the part, I have an option on where to put it. But it's always best practice just to let it drop where I modeled it. So if I take my mouse away from the part and just bring it over here, it automatically goes to the position I modeled it in, and that's best practice. So let's go with that. Now, we had discussed in our previous videos about modeling in context and why that's useful. So I can see, of course, where the motor stand will sit, but I haven't actually mated it in position. So I'm very quickly going to do that just to show you as an extension of this video. So I'm just going to use one mate. I'm going to insert a fastened mate. I'm going to select the bottom circle and that top circle, and that is fastened there, and that's fine. So that is now fully defined there, and I can't move anywhere, so that's grand. Now let's get straight to the motor. So what I want to do is I want to insert other documents, and I'm going to pull in a 6-volt motor. There's the propeller. We'll just come back out of that, and I'm going to click 6-volt motor, and I should be able to find it here. Here it is. So let's click that and bring it in. Perfect. And we can just drop this one anywhere, it doesn't matter. Now what we want to do is, again, we are going to click this and click this, and we are going to put in a mate, and let's put in whoops, not a fastened mate. We want to put in a, let me see, a cylindrical mate. Okay, select this circle and select this, and there we go, cylindrical mate. Now this is not fully defined yet, it can still move back and forth along that axis, so we can fully define that in a second. But the important bit is, how do we get the mounting holes from the motor, these two mounting holes, how do we get them onto this piece? And that's the very important bit. So let's just exit out of this. We're going to move this motor back out of the way, and what we're going to do is we're going to model in context here. So we're going to, within the assembly, we're going to right click the piece that we want to work on, and we're going to click edit in context. Now our motor has gone grey. We're going to click a sketch. It's going to ask us what plane we want to sketch on. Select the sketch plane, and it's on this plane here, so we want to sketch on the front of this piece. But very simply, what we want to do is we want to take that circle. I'm just going to have to click it in 4 different parts because it's not selecting, and this circle, and we want to convert them. And now we see we have them on that front face. So now that we have them, what we can do is we can click extrude and remove the material. So as always, it's very simple when you know how, but that is hugely important, because when we laser out this piece and we laser out the holes, we know now that those holes are going to be perfectly aligned with that motor. Okay, and we can go back to the assembly now, and we could put in our final mate. We could put in a planar mate between this face and this face. We could solve that, and there we go. Now our motor is perfectly in position, and I know when I make this piece that these two holes will always be perfectly in the right spot, and that is so huge for all our projects. I'm going to show you another way we could do this. Well, not another way we could do this, but with a different type of motor. Now, I don't need it in this project, but I'm just going to show you here instead of creating a new part. So let's say I need the yellow geared motor, and I type in yellow motor, it normally comes up. And that's it there. Let's click that, and we go back here, click this, and we'll just drop it here. Okay, so let's just say that well, what I'll need to do, of course, is well, this model of the motor is not a particularly good one because the mounting holes aren't on it. So that's the first thing to look for. So let's delete this and add a different version of that motor. So yellow motor, and we need to go back, search in the public library. So I can search here first. Actually, I've probably used it before. Search for motor. No. Oh, DC 6 volt. No. Okay, so let's forget about that and click public, and let's click yellow motor. See if we can find it this time. So this one looks to be a better version of it, solely because it looks to have the mounting holes. So we can see, yeah, that's a much more realistic version of it, and it's got the mounting bracket and it's got the mounting holes on it, these holes here. So right, that's perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pretend that I need it here, that I need the shaft of that motor going through this hole, and I'm just going to do that very quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we'd mount this motor. So let's just do that very quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a fastened mate, click this circle, and I'm going to click here and there. Okay, let's just solve that. Now you see, this is actually a good learning opportunity, because we see that the whole assembly has moved, and we obviously don't want that. So let's just exit out of that and see how we can stop that from happening. So this base piece is our main piece, and we don't want that to move. So what we can do is, if we right click it and click fix, and this symbol comes up here. Okay, so now that part is fixed. So let's go back in and put in our mate and this circle, and just for instance sake we're going to save this circle and solve that, and there we go, and put it there. Now of course the problem is that all these haven't moved with it, so in future what I would do is I would, if we were doing a project, I would fully assemble this for you and maybe give it to you. We could always create mates to assemble these also, but just for time's sake I'm just going to proceed with the way this is now. So let's just exit out of that, and what we can do is, again, we can right click this, edit in context, create a new context. So we have this other one, which is the one I did for the last motor. Create a new context, edit in context, create new context. I'm going to right click, edit sketch 1, and now I can see I'm editing the sketch, but I can still see the motor. So I click on that, and I click on that circle. Let's go normal to so we can see it better. That circle didn't seem to want to go normal to there for me. Okay, now I have the two holes there converted using my convert command. Click OK and go back to assembly, and now I have those mounting holes there. So I know 100% when I get this motor and I go to fix it down onto my project, those two holes are exactly in the right position. So I think what happened here as well is I brought in the part files of the motor and not the assembly, so it wasn't fully assembled, but that's not what we were getting at today. We were just looking at how we could mount it properly. So I hope this helped, and yeah, join me next time for another tutorial on Onshape. Hi guys, just decided to do a very quick update here. So the last time I came on and inserted the motor, which I've just deleted out of it now, it wasn't assembled, so it all came apart when we inserted the mates. So I just wanted to go over, if we are indeed putting in that yellow motor, how to find it. So we're going to go to other documents, and for any of my students that are in Costa Rica, what you can do is you can search within Costa Rica. I have it saved in here, and if we search yellow motor, and it was probably coming up the last time but I just didn't spot it, and there you will find it, yellow motor, and we have the yellow motor wheel as well, and we have the motor itself. So we can click that and it'll just pop in. So in we go, and click accept that, and let's just put in a mate here just to finish this off. Let's escape out of that, insert a mate, there we go, that and that hole, and let's turn this around, and oops, I haven't done it incorrectly, so let's go back and edit that mate. Let's turn this fella around, there we go, and bring it up. Okay, and let's accept that and see. So now if we were to look normal to this, we can see those two holes line up exactly with the holes in the base piece. So if I ran 2 screws through that, that would be perfectly mounted. So just a quick update on how to get that motor and how to insert it, and you can see that that one now doesn't come apart. So again, I hope you found this very useful. it's going to be really, really important. I can't emphasize enough how important that's going to be with all the future projects that we do, knowing how to mount a motor like that. So thanks very much for joining me, and take care. I'll see you next time on our next Onshape tutorial.